I let them choose when I would be with them. I'd almost lose my identity within them, and that's definitely a mark of someone with love and relationship addiction. I think that I would lose my sense of self because I would allow them to guide me and make sure.
Been through the pages of my old journals, with every turn another memory.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Journaling Through the Years. I am Leah Liz, and this is a series on the channel where I read from my journals that I've been writing in since I was old enough to hold a pen or a pencil. And we read through them and we talk about them. Last week and this journal, we're just going to continue to say is a lot of content warning, a lot of trigger warning. If you're somebody that's dealt with depression or mental illness or suicide ideation, take care of yourself. If you need to, skip it. I won't mind. Just take care of yourself. Your life matters. You matter. You're loved. You are loved. Not you're loved. You're loved. You are loved. Couple things. We have the fundraiser for I Am Fine and for the Trevor Project. It's right here. We also have some other great t-shirt designs and I think that's whoop. Some of them are for the web series, the Doctor Who fan fiction web series Timekeys, which is we have TimeSick out right now, and there's 3 episodes out, so go check it out. Maybe more by now. By the time this gets out, who knows? But just go check it out. I'll have the link below and I'll have the playlist for that. Because I know a lot of times people go there and they just watch the videos and then it's out of order and they're like, I don't know what's going on because I'm watching out of order. That's fine. I'll send you the playlist. Okay, let's get started. I'm wearing this lovely shirt. It's not for sale, it just says I left him for you, which I saw my ex-husband randomly at the grocery store the other day, other evening, and I freaked. I mean, we walked right towards each other. It was the worst feeling. I was so, like, when I figured out it was him, it literally took me like a minute to realize that person looks familiar. Who is that? Oh my God. And he was in the store for a while, and he was a domestic abuser, and so that's why I was still, like, the trauma was real. And I immediately texted, there's 3 women in my life, 2 of them that knew him and they were former as well and experienced. And then one that has her own trauma history and understands. And so I was reaching out to them during that moment. And so I think this shirt is fitting. I gave 2 of these women that also experienced him personally, I sent them these one of these shirts. I left him for you. And it feels fitting. Because I was really grateful in that moment that I could reach out to them. It kind of gave me made me feel a little more secure and a little more like I'm in such a better place right now. This is a really interesting read, and this is all we're going to read today. Don't make me do it, Mommy. I don't want to, Mommy. I'm scared. The little girl with the long braid. The little girl with the long brown pigtails cried and clung to her mother. Her mother's leg. It's okay, dear, her mother would always say, and they would move away from the object which caused so much fear. So this is how the little girl grew up, afraid of what was different, and therefore afraid of living. She never lived her life. She let others do that for her. It was never her decision, it was always everyone else's. The people whom she was close to her, parents, sister, brothers, friends, lovers, she built a wall of strength and courage for which she leaned against for support in things she had to do in life. Sometimes the wall would crumble and down she would fall. The people, her friends and lovers, had felt too much in need and wanted some space. At first she could not understand why. Why should they leave her when she needed them? Now she put up her own wall, a wall of fear and pain. A wall of fear of pain. A wall of fear of pain. I like that. I mean, I don't like that, but I like that vision. So hiding behind the fear of that pain. She didn't want to be loved or to love. She was afraid of the pain which followed the love and the closeness. She drew herself apart from the laughing, smiling people, thinking that she would never be or never want to be that happy again. She was being selfish by holding back all she had to offer. Put a pin in that right there. It was all fear of being happy with somebody else or seeing the one that hurt her happy with another. She felt worthless because she could not make this person truly happy. Right there, hold on to that. All her pain and infliction was brought on by herself, and she wallowed in her own misery, self-pity, and depression for days. She saw no point in living and couldn't think of what she wanted. Instead of looking into a wide array of choices, she saw a wide open emptiness, but she wasn't hard or deep enough for her innermost desires. And what are those? She wasn't hard enough, or I think I meant she didn't see hard, she wasn't hard enough for her innermost desires. And what are those? So this is what our innermost desires are. Happiness. True, everlasting happiness. And how to find this happiness she so desired. Honesty. Being truthful with herself and those she cared about. Acceptance of herself and what she does, accepting failure, pain, separation, and fear, and moving on. Fulfillment, going after what she longed for, her dreams, her desires. If she wanted to have peace sex with her ex-boyfriend, then gosh darn it, she could. After all, they are friends now, right? Peace sex meaning like, by accepting herself and her weaknesses and by being honest with herself, she began to feel stronger. Still a little afraid, but that's okay. At least now, the little girl with the braids could go anywhere, embracing her fear and happiness together. By accepting herself and her weaknesses and by being honest with herself, she began to feel stronger. Still a little afraid, but that's okay. At least now, the little girl with the braids could go anywhere, embracing her fear and happiness together. And she loved herself. And she thanked her ex-boyfriend for asking for his space and freedom. She realized that he wasn't that far away at all, but always close by. And she realized she loved him, still did, always will. Oh my God. Okay. Let's think about this. Okay, so first of all, I like that I'm writing this, and I think I've noticed this now that for whatever reason in my family of origin, you know, emotions and hard emotions, dark emotions, pain, there was a sense of overprotection when I was little. Okay, so if this leads to you having a meltdown, or if that leads to you being scared, we just won't go there. And so I didn't grow beyond that until I had to. And I was afraid. And I think also I think it's the origins also here where I'm leaning on these other people and putting up them as a wall of strength so I can hide behind them and I can let them do the living for me. I know that for a long time, even into my 20s and early 30s, with my family, my friends, my ex-husband, boyfriends, I let them choose when I would be with them. I'd almost lose my identity within them, and that's definitely a mark of someone with love and relationship addiction. I think that I would lose my sense of self because I would allow them to guide me and make choices for me in a sense, and that was safe. And then when they were gone, who am I without that? I think it's interesting that, I mean, obviously another person can't be that for you. You have to find it in yourself. But I think a lot of times, especially with this boyfriend, was it Princess Bride boyfriend? I think he was using the line, I need space, and you have too much need. I can't take this. I need to be away from you. But he was also not coming around unless he wanted to, and then saying, I need space. It's like that Taylor Swift song. Like, you didn't call me for a week, and then when you did, you said you needed space. What? So it's like that, and he was using, he was just a kid. He was 15, or no, he wasn't a kid. He was like 18 at the time. And that's, he wasn't equipped to deal with a person that is in pain and not know how to deal with it in one way. I still think he's kind of a jerk for what he did, but he was also an 18-year-old kid. So we can understand that an 18-year-old boy wants to not really be tied down that much. And anyone, I mean, a young person shouldn't really, not necessarily tie them down to, 16 years old, this is my happily ever after. I know one woman from my high school class who married her high school sweetheart. Two women who married their high school sweethearts. Two. That's it. That I know of. But generally speaking, you need to be kind of free in a sense. You need to be able to explore other people, whether that's in monogamy or just with friendship or even in polyamory. The sense of you need to, especially when you're young, sort of develop an understanding of yourself and be free to explore that, whether with another person or by yourself, specifically by yourself. Now she put up a wall of pain, a wall of fear of pain. I did that for a long time, and since I had been learning that the best thing, the only thing that people want to see is that happiness and that laughter, then hide behind that and don't let your emotions, your pain, your sadness be seen. And so even into college, whatever, it was always like up here, and I never showed anyone any of the darkness until I never had real conversations with people. It was always up here. We never went to that depth. I remember the first time I had to be like sophomore, junior in high school, and it was summer break, and I had a bad boyfriend. This is when I was going to Southern Oregon University, and a bad boyfriend that was really abusive to me and very triggering to the pain I was going through and all the episodes I was having, and family of origin was dealing with. And I called another best friend that I'd known from a previous college, and we talked, and I was really upset, really sad, and she talked me through it, and she said, this is the first time we've ever had a real conversation, and we known each other for about 3 years at that point. And she's one of those people that's been there, and I'm grateful for her, and I'm alive today because of her. So the interesting thing is, even putting up that wall of fear of pain, the pain crept through, and the cracks would come and break it down. So it's best to sort of find a place, find people, find a therapist, find a psychiatrist, find people that can help you sit in that pain and not run from it. I was being selfish by holding back all she had to offer. In a sense, that's true. But I think it's interesting that I was probably being told that by being depressed and lying there, you're being selfish. I feel like it was a way that I was being told that minimizing my pain. Just push it around, push it away, and get out and be with people because you're being selfish by wallowing in your pain right now, or by feeling this. And that's the sense I feel. It feels very minimizing to me. She felt worthless because she could not make this person truly happy. This person had left her, and this person had been my world, had been where I found value within myself. This person was the one that could, just give me a sense of identity, a sense of purpose, a sense of, they were another aspect of protection. They made me happy. I couldn't make them happy. I felt worthless. My identity was built up around making other people happy, and starting even then, and it's something that I am in recovery for now. All her pain and affliction was brought on by herself, and she wallowed in her own misery, self-pity, and depression. Self-pity. I think that was another, I was being minimized. My pain was being minimized. I mean, yes, a 15-year-old, 16-year-old, we're going through puberty, our emotions. Brenda Walsh comes to mind, the highs and lows and the over-dramaticness. And I think that's why I liked her, because there was a true reflection of what a teenager experiences with their ups and downs and their heartbreaks. And but I also think, I know now that not all my pain and affliction was brought on by myself. I was choosing what felt comfortable, was being around people that weren't healthy and would inflict pain, and almost in a what's the word I'm thinking of? They took delight in seeing how they could mess with me. I think a lot of them, narcissistic types, sociopathic types. I don't think I knew all the sociopaths, but that type of person. I like that I didn't feel like I could find these desires, but I had a knowledge of what I wanted, and I believe after many, many years I found that. Happiness, true, everlasting happiness. That doesn't mean that you're just always smiling. I think it's a sense of peace within. I mean, when I was a Christian, they would say that happiness is of the world and joy is like true joy, that's peace, and that's the joy. And I don't condone, respect most of what mainstream fundamentalist Christianity teaches now as a whole, but I feel like in every spirituality there is a certain similar core beliefs or core things that they say, and I agree with that the joy is that sense of just kind of being at peace with life, and you don't have to be happy, smiley all the time, and you don't have to be sad. And I would tell that to my younger self. I think she was looking for, I just want to be happy all the time, and I would tell her, in joy or in true happiness, you can be sad, you can feel angry, you can acknowledge this dark part of yourself. Honesty. I mean, here I am reading my journal and sharing myself all over YouTube and the internet. So yes, I am one that definitely acknowledges, I think now that's a core value of mine that I find is, I want from other people as well as from myself, is authenticity and honesty. Acceptance of myself and what I do, accepting failure, pains. I love that. I just wanted to accept myself. I think that I wasn't being accepted outwardly, and I definitely think that that's the first step when you enter into recovery, whether a 12-step group or just, individual therapy or just life recovery. It's just accepting where you're at and accepting what you've done that was wrong, that you want to change from, or whatever. And from that acceptance, you can rebuild and heal. Fulfillment, going after what I longed for. Yeah, I don't think that she should have been doing the sex with her ex-boyfriend, but that wasn't just lingering in any kind of relationship with him, especially when he was now kind of officially dating the other friend. It's just a player. And he was not a Dylan McKay. I don't know who she dated, but I'm trying to think of someone Brenda dated that was bad. Maybe someone she dated in real life, Shannon Doherty dated in real life, because this was not jerking both of us around. And so I'm not upset with my past self for having the sex, but because sex positive, okay. But he wasn't my boyfriend, and he had broken up with me, and yet he kept calling and trying, and it made me feel good out of my own addiction to have that attention from him. But he was an 18-year-old boy just looking for it wherever he could get it. And just accepting myself and my weaknesses and being honest with myself. I can be stronger, and I'm less afraid. And if it's okay if I'm a little afraid. The little girl with the braids could go anywhere, embracing her fear and happiness, and she loved herself. And okay. I think it's okay that I ended with I still loved him, I still always will. I think there's a part of myself that is grateful for everyone that I've ever come across, even my ex-boyfriend or ex-husband that I saw the other day that scared the beat out of me, because he led me to this more authentic part of myself and to some really sweet friendships that I have that I left for him, and I think that so I can be grateful. And so yes, I'm grateful, and I do send love back to that 18-year-old boy, that Princess Bride boyfriend that broke my heart, because I learned something from him. And yeah, but I think that where did that go? I think that I have been, after so many years, been able to be okay with being a little afraid. I would go later on in my life, I would bury it again after this, and I wouldn't look back. I haven't looked at this until now, but moving on into junior, senior, college, I wouldn't be able I'd find other people, the church, to try to find a wall to hide behind until I couldn't anymore. So I'm going to leave you with that. One more thing I'm going to say is, once again, you are worthy. You are worthy of love. You are loved. You matter, and your life matters. And if you need to actually, if you're going through something, I will definitely put, here's the phone number, suicide hotline, and it'll be up below as well. Thank you. Bye.